Whoops.
All right, I think we're live now.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. And since my computer setup is kind of awkward, I'm going to check out the chat on my phone from my Gunpla desk.
All right.
Let's see.
I took a webcam and I have it like up here, but my computer's down here, and then the work area is like right here. So I'll be looking at like 4 different places during this, but
There we go.
we got our
All
stuff.
right. Let's see. I'm gonna put this over here. All right. I think we're good to go now.
Yeah, we should be right. Okay, so how's everybody doing? All you wonderful people. Got a pretty healthy chat going on already.
I know. I'm surprised how many people are already here.
Yeah.
They started without us.
Yeah. All right, I'm actually gonna move my camera so you guys can see the Gunpla, because that's what we're probably here for. So I figured this all out earlier. As you can tell, we are very professional live streamers. We do this all the time. There we go. That's good enough.
Been on a few, but this is literally my first time starting one myself.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever done one either. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's definitely something I want to do more often.
Yeah, I was at work yesterday, and Zach was doing one, and I was like, all right, you know, screw it, I'll hop into his, and I hung out with him on there for like 30 minutes. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you know what? I want to do one of these. He was like, Ed, like, I never see you in these stream things, and I was like, yeah, it's because I'm never in them. But, so how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're all well and healthy. How are you doing, Henry?
I'm actually doing pretty good.
That's good.
I decided to completely redo the wings on this wing Gundam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
like the wings that I showed you a couple days ago, I just threw those out and I'm restarting them.
Oh boy.
Luckily, it was only like a day's worth of work for those previous wings, so it's not too much. It's not too much of a setback.
I thought you said 8 days for a second. And I was
a day.
Yeah. I have God, I scrapped a bunch of stuff from my project too, because I like the first thing I did for this was I was building like one of the small units, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make this guy like a kind of a slender looking dude, and then I took this part and I like carved all these like notches out in it, and I sanded it out, and it took me like 2 weeks. And then I was just like, screw it, I don't like this. So I scrapped like literally 90% of the only thing I kept were the shoulders.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel there's like parts on the Xeon that I'm doing right now that I like really don't want to keep, but I don't have like the option.
Yeah. See, I had originally started modeling these wings after the high grade. And then I got to looking at it and thought, you know, I really wish I had modeled these after the master grade instead. So that's what I'm doing now.
Hold on a second. We actually have questions already.
Yeah. A lot of people want to know what we're working on right now.
Okay. Well, basically,
I'll let you go first.
Henry and I are, I don't know, we're actually staying together for Comic-Con 2017 for GVWC 2017. And we're both working on our GVWC projects. And I am, if you guys want more info on it, I can't get everything out right now. During the stream, I will take these guys out and show them off, but right now, literally all my stuff, it's upside down, but that's like part of my project right now. It's all kind of like in pieces. And I'm working on a really big piece of it, but essentially I'm working on a diorama called Steam Siege. And what the whole thing is it's going to be like this diorama where these steam engine mechs are fighting this giant diesel engine Xeon, which I'm working on right now. It's this guy. Can't really see it too well on camera, but I'm going to post some photos later of this guy. I haven't actually shown this off yet too much, this head part. So basically right now what I'm doing is I'm working on this Xeon head, and I crafted, I took the horns and I put them up onto the forehead, and I sculpted a mouthpiece, sort of flat plate, and then I don't actually know what I'm going to do because I'm horrible at scribing, but I kind of want to scribe some detail like on the face, but I don't know what I'm going to do with that 100% yet. And working on that, and then basically, I don't know how well I can click on here. I can't I can't keep the stream tab open and the chat tab open at the same time. So basically, this is the whole head. This is like the faceplate, and this is the back of the head, and this part kind of locks onto the front. So you got the eyeball, which will go in here, and what's going to go in here are these clear pieces of plastic that are somewhere on my desk. It's gonna be like a big clear piece through here, and then there's gonna be a lot of little cracks and like basically it's gonna look like broken glass kind of around the eye, and then it's gonna have this purple LED in the head that's like an eye sticking out, and then here I'm working on this kind of really thin claw plate line where the two halves of the head come together, so it's kind of like it'll look flush when it's finished. And what I originally wanted to do is I wanted to just take the back of the head and the front of the head and meld it all together and make this flush. But I realized I can't access all the stuff inside that I need to access before I paint it and like in the process of painting it. So I've got to kind of keep those pieces separate for convenience sake. And this is like the chest, which is it doesn't look like anything right now, but basically this diesel engine part is gonna go right here, and it'll make sense when you see the other guys, and it looks more flush when you have like all the parts on this, and it's obviously in like a million pieces right now, but basically I'm working on that, and I'm doing some tedious sanding on this faceplate that I've been working on for the past like 5 days. So we got like 57 days left. So I think we can do this. I hope we can do this.
Yeah, hopefully you won't be in quite as much of a pinch as you were last year.
I was actually Britt and I were talking about that the other day, and she's like, "How long did we like have last year?" And I was looking on Instagram, and I started working on that thing 16 days before GVWC.
Oh my god!
And I was just, and the funny thing was, like, I went back and forth from like PA to New York twice during those like 16 days. I was so tired after Comic-Con. Like after that Saturday, I was like, I hadn't slept properly in like a week and a half. And I just died when I got back to Dreamers. Yeah, so enough of me. What are you working on? Explain to them.
Well, I haven't made a video about this yet because I'm still in the relatively early stages of it. But my project for GBWC is going to be taking the 1/60th scale no grade Wing Zero, which was graciously given to me by one of my friends, Oz Kai Dustin. And I'm going to be converting it into a Wing Gundam. just simply because Bandai never made a 1/60 scale Wing Gundam, and I really wanted one. So most of the basic structure is the same. So it's really just changing the shape of the armor. A few parts will have to be completely scratch built, like the wings. Honestly, the wings are turning out to be easier than I thought, as far as like just the structure of them. And then like the front skirts, I'll have to scratch build the Buster rifle, and everything else can just be sort of modified from the existing kit. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. I started out with the hands. I wanted to do something along the lines of just like a really high detail build, and the original hands that come with the kit are like these derpy looking. It's like the same hands that come on Master Grade Sosby 1.0 or the Master Grade Dom. They got posable fingers, but they've only got like one joint in them, and they're like big sausage fingers. So I completely remodeled the hands, gave it a whole new backing that's more anime accurate, and then just went in and resculpted all of the fingers from plastic rods. Just really getting down and cutting out teeny tiny pieces of plot plate. There's no real trick or shortcut to it. It was just cutting out all the individual joints and all the individual finger segments, and then sanding them down and cementing them all together. So tedious work, but I'm really happy with the way they've turned out. And I've already gotten started on things like the shield. I've sort of covered the whole surface of the shield with epoxy putty here. Now I just gotta sand it down and change the details to look more like Wing Gundam's shield. And I'm probably definitely going to do some detailing in the underside, because the underside of the shield's pretty plain. Already started scratch building the front skirts. Front side is kind of this is a really rough stage. Haven't done any cleanup. This is literally just the basic parts cemented together, but I'll have some little vent details up in here. The back side turned out particularly nice. Hoping that shows up pretty well on camera, but I do really like the way that looks. And the head is coming together nicely. It's, well, quote unquote coming together. It's in several pieces, but I've reshaped Wing Zero's face to be more like Wing Gundam's. I think what I'm going to end up doing is kind of like the Master Grade has an inner frame. I'm going to have to make not like a detailed mechanical inner frame, since it won't be visible for GBWC anyway. There's no point, but just like a structure inside the head that I can mount the face part and the LEDs in, because I do want to put LEDs for the eyes and the forehead, and then just have the outer armor sort of go together on the outside like a helmet, like it does on the Master Grade. And I've already scratch built the V-fin, just sort of chopped up Wing Zero's V-fin and then made a new centerpiece out of plot plate. The arms I've started to disassemble, because I can use Wing Zero's arms, but they're going to have to be modified. I'll have to scratch build the little claw thingies that are on the front of Wing Gundams. The shoulder armor is basically going to have to be completely scratch built. I'm thinking I might can use this part, but even then, I'm not sure. The only part that's the same between Wing Zero and Wing Gundam is these little yellow circles right here. Torso. The torso luckily has a lot of empty space inside it, so I'll have plenty of room for batteries and wires and stuff for the LEDs. And I've got like a little clear plastic jewel. I honestly can't even remember where I got this, but it's like a centimeter wide, and I'll have that in the middle for the search eye, and I'll have the LED and everything. So you got to scratch build new chest vents, obviously. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Haven't really done anything to the lower half of the body right now, but working on primarily the upper half at the moment.
So when's your 1 to 60 Leo coming?
The what?
I said, when's your 1 to 60 Leo coming?
I've actually thought about that, Like while I've been working on this, I've like in the back of my head thinking about like what would be involved in building a 1/60th scale tall geese or a 1/60th scale Leo. Because I feel like if I built one, I would have to recast it and build the other, since so many parts are the same.
Yeah, I mean, like, honest to God, like, if you built the base frame, you could get like all the tall pieces. I mean, that's what you did with the master grids
Yeah, yeah.
that you did. You know, you just build the Leo frame. I mean, it's pretty much what they did in the show, isn't it?
Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
they had the tall geese, and then they used it to mass produce the Leos.
Yeah, just share frames and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you've like, you know, obviously you've been around scratch building for a while, and like, this is the first time like I've ever done anything like this, and I'm like so just. It's really fun. Like, it's a really cool experience, but it's like so like overwhelming, and it's like I'm thinking back to like seam fixing kits, and I'm like, God, that sounds like paradise right now, because like
Yeah,
it's so much sanding.
I hear you.
And it's
That's
like,
how I was when I first started scratch building. It
yeah,
was like I didn't have any clue what I was getting into,
yeah,
but I think it's one of those things where you just sort of have to jump in feet first and just go
yeah,
for it. Because
yeah,
if you worry too much about it and second guess yourself, you're never going to get anywhere.
yeah, and
You're
like
just going to procrastinate and nothing will ever get done.
I like, I don't know, I look at a lot of like, and obviously you and I look at a lot of like scratch building stuff, and like I see there's like three major things that I see people do with scratch building, and there's styrene guys, and then there's milliput guys, and then there's styrene and milliput guys, and like
Yeah.
I see there's guys that use like almost nothing but styrene and very tiny amounts of putty, and then there's other guys that use like plot plate everything, and or like everything putty and very little bits of plot plate, and then there's
Yeah.
guys that like have a really good balance of like the two of them. And I gotta say, I love milliput. I love this shit. Like I've made so many parts with it for this
Yeah.
build, and like it's just so much fun.
Yeah. I don't have any mill put on me right now. I'm actually trying out a different brand. It's Epoxy Sculpt
Mm.
by a company called Avis, but it's basically the same thing. Uh, it's about as good as Milliput. I mean, it's not really better or worse, but yeah, I'm kind of in the balance area where there's a lot of things that lend themselves really well to being made out of ply plate, and then there's some things that uh, really should be made out of epoxy putty. So
Yeah, and then like it's really interesting. Like when people are kind of like, I remember when I was like learning the differences between like, you know, basic Tamiya putty and milliput, and it's like what you use milliput for as opposed to what you use like a stronger, harder epoxy for.
right,
Because, you know, there's a lot of people that I remember. Well, not a lot, but I remember specifically like years ago, somebody asked me if I used milliput to seam fix, and I was like, not really. I like, if there's a big gap, I'll use a
yeah.
little
If
bit.
it's a gigantic gap, then sure.
Yeah, but like to me, it gets the job done. And then like there's other people where I've talked. This is less putty, but like people ask about seam fixing, and then it's like I use a combination of the cement and the putty, and then there's people that like just use the putty, and then there's people that just use the cement. And like
Yeah,
this person that I told, again, I don't remember who it was years ago. I was like, yeah, I use both. They're like, why do you use both? I was like, I don't know. I thought that was what you're supposed to do. It's like there's no guaranteed 100% way to do it. I guess
yeah,
is what I'm trying to get at, and that's really cool because like with scratch building especially, there's like I've got stacks and stacks of like these books. And, you know, I like to look at them, and it's like I find like all these like little things in them where I'm like, yeah, that's like, you know, that's cool. Like this detail thing is cool. Like I learned a lot from like picking up like a lot of hobby Japans. Like I learned the whole thing where you get a really really sharp X-Acto knife and you like slice the numbers off of the runners and you use them to like put numbers on your models.
oh
Like
right, yeah,
I learned all that from that, but like what a lot of people with Gunpla is they really want to know, like they see these great things and they want to know how to do it. And I remember like I really wanted to know how to do a lot of stuff, and you really just have to like jump into it. Like you really just have to like dive in head first, and you have to make like mistakes over and over and over again.
Oh yeah. If you don't make mistakes, you never learn anything.
Yeah, that's how you learn. And it's like, you know, I really like looking back at my crossfit farm that I made years ago, because that was the first time I ever used milliput, and that thing is like you can like tell like all the spots where it's like, oh, I didn't sand that right, oh, I didn't fill this in. It's like you look at it, there's gaps everywhere, and it's like if I knew then what I know now, but then it's like, well, I'm really glad that I have that experience, and like I look back at that kid and say like, I do know more now. So. Yeah, nope.
I have real similar feelings when I look at my Oz project.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of stuff, specifically with like joint, like scratch built joints and stuff. It's like, what was I thinking? Why didn't I do that differently?
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking of scratch built joints, there's some dude, I forget what group I'm in or what group it's in. Maybe it's in multiple groups. I'm in like 1,000 Facebook groups. There's this one guy who took the Tristan and he's like scratch building joints for it. And
right.
Like somebody was like, they sell like joint sets, right? And he's like, but that's not fun. And I was like, oh my god, he's Henry, like he's a young Henry. I remember looking at your joints and stuff that you were like scratch building for like the Oz project and like the Leos and like some of your older stuff, and it was just like I was thinking like why, and it's like now I get it.
Scratch building joints is definitely the hardest part. Like you building like the structure, like a thigh or a foot or something is one thing, but the joints are a whole another category.
Yeah. It goes so. Is my audio like really quiet? Actually, I'm gonna ask the chat. Is my audio quiet? Because my girlfriend just messaged me and she said my audio is like really off. Because I have another mic I can use that actually probably would sound a lot better. So I might actually go grab that.
Sounds fine to me.
Well, it's a little quiet. You know what? I'm gonna go get that, and I'll be right back.
All right. I guess I can answer some questions from the chat while you are gone.
Entertain the masses.
See, any tips or recommended tools for sanding nubs on small parts or near angles without fudging the shapes of the parts of their angles? For sanding nub marks, I use a Tamiya Basic file. This is actually the small, smooth one. Yeah, smooth double cut. What I'll do is I just sand the nub like that, and then I just get a little bit of sandpaper and sand it down nice and smooth, and usually works out pretty well for me. I don't really use a hobby knife because I tend to cut too deep and it'll gouge out the plastic, and then I end up having to use putty on it. So that's more work than it's worth. But yeah, just get a nice fine file, and it'll give you a flat surface, and it's easy to get around angles and edges and small details, because usually like one side of the file will be rough for filing, and then the other edge will be smooth. So you can use that smooth edge to go around details and stuff, and it won't mess them up. Let's see. Super glue plus spy carbon. I don't know. I've never done that before. Like, I've heard of people doing it, but I've never done it myself, so I don't have any experience with that. What is the grit on this file? I honestly don't know. It doesn't say. It just says smooth cut.
Oh.
Thoughts on the Master Grade Double Zeta Verka? I definitely plan on getting it. I had it pre-ordered, but I canceled my pre-order because I think I'm just going to buy it when I go to New York Comic Con. I just buy it at the Bluefin booth. So that way I want to pay shipping charges. Plus it'll be a nice souvenir from GBWC. At least I'll take home something if I don't win anything. But yeah, I think Double Zeta Verka definitely looks really, really nice. I'm really hoping that the P-Bandai add-on set is the full armor parts. Because I love full armor Double Zeta. It's one of my favorite like big bulky mobile suits. What's the best tool or tools for scratch building? A hobby knife, #1. Plot plate, plenty of it. Usually I just keep stocked up on 1mm, 0.5mm. Occasionally I use 2mm for thicker stuff. And I'll use like 0.3mm for really fine details. Cement, obviously, definitely cement. Sandpaper, files, definitely want to have some files on hand. Nippers, just, I mean, basically the same kind of stuff that you would use for building a kit can be used for scratch building as well. A ruler, definitely get a ruler with, make sure it's got metric on it, because everything, all Gunpla kits are measured in metric. And a set of drill bits will definitely come in handy for scratch building as well. Do I think we'll get a high grade, not high grade, master grade Atlas Gundam? We might. We did get 2 master grades from season 1 of Thunderbolt, so I don't think it's out of the question that we would get a master grade Atlas.
I'll be back someday.
All right. What kind of air compressor do I use? I actually have the box right here. I can dig it out. Whoa. My air compressor is an Iwata Studio Series. Actually, maybe better show you the side. Yeah. Really nice. It's got a built-in regulator and moisture trap. I've had it for about 3 years now, and it's done beautifully. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like $300 or $400. So definitely on the pricier side, but I feel that it's gonna last me for a good long while. So as far as the length of my painting sessions, I usually like to paint like one color at a time. Like I'll paint all the white parts at one time, and then all the black parts at one time, all the gray parts at one time, etc. And a normal painting session with the airbrush usually lasts 2 or 3 hours, sometimes 4 if I'm painting a lot of parts. Oh, thank you, Britt. My girlfriend gave me these Captain America pajama pants for Christmas. I'm one of those people that, like, as soon as I get home from work, the work clothes come off and the pajamas go on. So. Do I build my joint pieces before I paint them? I build pretty much everything before I paint it. I snap the entire kit together from top to bottom, and then disassemble it, and then paint it, and then put it back again. Do I find that my compressor heats up? Not really. A lot of air compressors will have an auto shut off if they get too hot, and I've painted for like 5 hours and it's never shut off before. So
Can you hear me?
3D, yeah, I can hear you.
Does that sound better?
It sounds about the, yeah, ask the chat. It sounds about the same to me.
All right. Hey chat, does this sound any different? I got a real ghetto setup right now with everything.
Is that glowing?
Yeah, it's this is my Afterglow headset.
Do they still make Afterglow stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
I used to have an Afterglow PlayStation 2 controller.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what I'm trying to compare it to. So like right now, for some reason, the headset like won't receive audio, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to have my earbuds plugged in, but I'm using the mic from these guys. So I'm just gonna put my headset on my desk and use that.
If it works, it works.
All right, we're in business. So what I miss?
I just answered a few questions about air compressors and master grades and things like that.
All that fun stuff. Yeah, so I figure I don't know, like I've never done a stream, so I don't know like the etiquette, but I figured we'd just like hang out, answer questions, and
yeah, I mean, some people do like a structured thing where they have like a topic, like they do that in Gunpla Talk and those Gundam guys and things like that. But me and Ed didn't have a topic; we just wanted to hang out and build Gunpla.
Yeah. So they're saying that it sounds like a stormtrooper helmet, and they want me to say Roger, Roger.
It does kind of sound like you're inside your helmet right now.
Roger, Roger. I had a candy bar I was gonna eat, and I want to find that. There it is. So I'm doing some fun shit this weekend, and I think I told you about the gun. Oh yeah, I did. I told you about the gun I'm getting. I'm getting a 1/12 scale Victory Gundam gun that works with lights and sounds. And
oh, it's electronic?
Yeah, it here there's a video of it. I'll put it in the chat. It's like a, I don't know, it's like one of those toys from the 90s, but Dan, for all those of you that don't know, Dan is the guy that owns like the 1/12 scale Gundam and like all the Gundam figures that are like really old at Gundam Planet. And him and I are pretty good buddies. So whenever he finds like old stuff and he doesn't want it, he usually sells it to me for a pretty good price. I don't know if you guys can, well, can't see it now, but earlier in the chat behind me, I have a 1/400 scale white base that I bought off of him. There. Oh, it won't let me put YouTube like videos in the chat. That's weird. Huh. Oh well.
It's too bad that right after you got that white base, somebody made a 1/100 scale white base.
Yeah, I saw. Isn't this a styrofoam one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's made out of styrofoam. But it still looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks legit. Now I have to make.
I wonder how much it weighs.
You know, styrofoam. I mean, styrofoam comes in all different like weights and sizes and makeups and all that. So I don't know, cause like it looked pretty detailed from what I saw of it. So it's probably like high density styrofoam. So that means it's probably a little heavier.
I'm just wondering if he could like pick it up and carry it or something.
I'd say probably like 2 people maybe could carry it.
Yeah.
That's my guess. We'll just have to go find him and ask him. Can you pick this white base up by yourself, or do you need help? Yeah.
Are we going to see the solar eclipse on the 21st? Luckily, it's supposed to start right after I get off work, so I'll get off work and just stand out in my backyard and watch it.
I want to see the eclipse. Somebody just came in and they asked what we're building. Basically, Henry Scratch building 1 to 60 scale wing Gundam, and I'm working on a Xeon diesel engine sort of guy thing.
Yep.
And I've been fumbling with like my microphone for like 20 minutes, so I haven't really missed much. So no worries. I was sitting at work today, and I was actually thinking of like a couple things I wanted to bring up on the stream. I can't remember any of them. I guess I'm going to see. Any of you guys that are in New York or the Jersey area, I'm going to New York tomorrow to set up my Gunpla models at Image Anime because they just recently moved their store to 37th Street, and I helped with that whole movement, and that was a lot of fun. And they are letting me set up like 5 of my kits in their shop as a display thing. So I'll be setting those up. So if you guys are in the city and you want to see my shitty kits, go to Image Anime because they'll be up. And then on Saturday, I'm going to Jersey because there's a big festival thing for Mitsuwa. And since I'm going to be near Mitsuwa, I have to go to Gundam Planet. That's literally like 2 minutes down the road. So I'll be going to Gundam Planet and spending too much money on 00 kits because I just finished rewatching 00 last night. So I'm finally getting like a bunch of the models that I always wanted when I was like 16. So I'm like really hyped because like, you know, like Wing is nostalgic for everybody. It's like it's always like Wing or Seed or something. But like 00 is like my baby because that was like one of the first things I ever watched. So I'm like I'm all giddy over like the 10th anniversary and the fact that we're getting like, you know, 19 third-party kits and like, and Bandai just reissued all the old like 1/100s, and then like, oh man, my local shop just got like a bunch of Tierans in, and I didn't like. It was such a shock to see a 1/100 Tieran, like the green one, because I was just like, I have not seen this kit in like years. Like that was one of the ones they didn't reprint like the 1/100 00s for a really long time. I'm glad they did because I need some good old 1/100 Dynamis in my life. It's really weird because like I'm such a high grade guy, but I really love the 1/100 00 kits. Like they're all really nice.
Those were all really good kits in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially the Tiern and the Overflag.
Yeah.
The detail on those 2 kits was better than what you see on most master grades.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't keep up with this chat.
Have I ever used parafilm for masking? No, I haven't. I generally just use masking tape or masking fluid.
Masking fluid is so good.
I've only used the Mr. Masking Soul Neo. I've never used the original Mr. Masking Soul.
Yeah. I'm just like looking at like chat stream and like being on YouTube again. It like makes me really and especially talking about 00 makes me really miss like my old like OG YouTube days when I like made videos.
The channel that got deleted.
Yeah, my first channel that like I miss so bad. And funny enough, I'm never gonna well, I put it out on my Facebook, but I'm never gonna put this out to like the following I have, because like there's another channel that I made when I was 16 that wasn't Gundam related, and it has some Gundam things in it, but it's just generally like 15, 16-year-old me acting like a total dumbass. And like it's funny to like look back and like see myself at that age, but I'm just like, damn it, like I want to see myself talking about Gundams, not whatever it was I was talking about in those videos. But like, I don't know, it's weird like stumbling across like an archive of yourself online and like remembering.
I think the very first video on my channel is my dog pooping at the dog show.
Didn't you have like another channel like for your like personal life and stuff?
Oh yeah, just like me and my cousins goofing around and stuff.
Yeah, that like one of my videos was like me and like my cousins and like a bunch of my like really old friends that like I don't think I'm in contact with any of them but like one of them anymore, all just like hanging out at a playground. I'm like, oh my god, like I feel old and I'm like, I'm not old. But going back to those like 1/100 00 kits, I've been like looking at the pre-orders for that new Dragon Momoko Exia all day.
Yeah.
And I'm really tempted to get that and get a 1/100 Astria and make a 1/100 Astria Avalanche on make like the red one, but then take the Exia that comes with the Dragon Momoko kit and then take that and turn that into just a normal like 1/100 Exia, because I can use parts from the 1/100 Astria that comes with the Exia shoulders and all that crap. So it's like, if I do that, I get 2 complete kits anyway. So, because a lot of people are posting today, like Justin posted about the 1/100, the new one that's coming out. You can't convert it just to Exia. It has like big loops in the shoulders or something.
Right.
And there's like parts on the legs that are missing, I think. So I think if you like took a 1/100 scale and like modified it a little bit, you could get like just a legit 1/100 Exia, and it looks really nice. Like it looks a lot like the metal build. I don't know if it's based on the metal build or not, but I don't know. It's really piquing my interest, and it's only like what, $32 if you pre-order it.
Yeah. Yeah, some of those third-party kits are relatively cheap.
Yeah, like Wound Warp was like 28. Jabman says, if you're old, Ed, what does that make me? 80, I guess. Your Dom Trope and builders are inspiring. Thank you. Funny enough, a lot of people like that Dom Tropin video is my most popular video on YouTube. Like that thing is like insane, and I look back at it, and funny enough, I don't use hardly any of the weathering techniques that I used in that video anymore. I completely like changed my style over. So I'm really overdue for a new one, because that was like over 2 years ago. So hopefully, I am planning on doing some weathering videos, and some other like little tutorial videos. But I kind of went into this phase like right before I started working at GBWC. I have a second channel where I just do train videos, and I do basically Gunpla with Ed episodes, but they're on HO gauge and N gauge train rolling stock and restoring them and making them look TV show accurate. And I did that for like a really long time, and then I was like, oh shit, it's GBWC time. So then I just kind of like dropped all my train stuff, and now it's really funny because like the Gundam people were like on my YouTube channel, like a lot of them were like, where did you go? And I'm like, I'm doing train stuff. And then like I dropped the train stuff, and then I did a GBWC video, and now all the train people are like, he's gone, he
Where did you
disappeared.
go?
I'm just like, shit. So
It's like you don't make a video for a week and everyone thinks you've died.
yeah, I mean, like,
That's how my channel is.
I think it's fair in my case because like I don't make videos for like 6 months at a time, and then I'm just like, oh, I got a box in the mail, I'm gonna film it. All right, guys, I'm gonna make a video soon, and then like I start every video off, and I'm just like, hey guys, I really want to make more videos, blah blah blah. And now I'm just like, I don't even bother anymore because I'm like, I don't want to give people like false hope. I'm just like, I'll make videos when I make videos.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I've funny enough, I've been watching a lot of like bigger YouTubers. Funny enough, PewDiePie talked about how actually I think Zach shared this too about how a lot of big YouTubers that force themselves to make daily videos or like twice daily videos, and they have to because there's so many people that like really demand content from them.
Right.
And he basically PewDiePie took this like huge step, and he's just like, I'm not doing them anymore. He's like, it's so annoying, like trying to fake it. And he pretty much admitted that he's like, he's like, I faked reactions to like gaming videos, and he's like, I genuinely don't even enjoy video games anymore. So he stopped doing that, and he just kind of does whatever he wants now, and he's way more happy than he's been in like the past couple of years. That's like cool from like a YouTuber's perspective, and I totally get that because like I would totally be burnt out if I had to like stay to a YouTube schedule because
I would burn out in like a week.
Yeah, I would just be like, nah, like, and it sucks because like you get everyone's hopes up, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make all this content, and it's like, yeah, just kidding.
Yeah.
So I say, you make shit when you want to, and people appreciate it a lot more. Cause
yeah, I try for quality over quantity.
Yeah, and another thing to consider is like, these big YouTubers, like PewDiePie and all them, like that. I mean, obviously their numbers are giant compared to like the YouTube community and everything, but like that's their job, and it's like what they do with that really like affects,
Yeah, because I mean,
what money they make.
That's how they're putting food on the table.
Yeah, and it's not only that, but it's like they've combined their relaxation with their job. So it's like if you get burnt out at that, you don't have like an escape.
You don't have anything else.
Yeah, so I that's like a really like horrible situation, and I've never wanted to like ever be anywhere near as popular as like any of the big guys, just so because like I just don't want to like I don't want to have that like I don't know how to say it, the need for content to like satisfy all these like thousands of hungry fans, because like these like if you look at the comment sections on like the bigger YouTubers like on YouTube in general, like it's crazy like what people demand of you. It's scary.
I mean, it's like you're a celebrity at that point, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like if you're Ben Affleck or somebody.
I'm bad. I don't know why I started going off on a YouTube tangent. But, actually, I'm gonna check the chat, see if we got any questions. Any tips for getting nubs off of a pre-painted glossy kit? My opinion is dunk that bitch in some degreaser. Just scrub all the paint off, sand it, do whatever you gotta do. I love degreaser. Degreaser gets pretty much anything off of plastic. Do that and then sand away your nubs. That's what I would do. Or if it's way too far gone, just honest to God, just buy a new kit. If it's not like something totally like
if it's not like, super rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not worth it trying to restore something.
Yeah. Oh God, I got so many kits where I'm just like, there's just no point. God, actually, I wonder if it's here. I have one kit that was like, actually, I don't think it's in there. It was like beyond fixing. It was like somebody. It looked like somebody sprayed gloss on it like 9 times, and I was just like, I'm just gonna buy a new kit. Like, so yeah, that's my suggestion. Just get a new kit if it's too bad. Oh, this is something I'm actually really excited about that I didn't even show off yet on the Xeon. So like, I went to Michael's and I bought these little glass tubes, and I was like, I could do these or something. And then I was looking at this is actually an LBX shield that I put these on, and I was looking at it and like, I can figure a way to do this. And my genius girlfriend was just like, well, there's like these 3 like notches in here. Just drill holes in the notches and like put all the tubes in there. And I was like, you're fucking genius. So I did that, and I have this the yellow around it is just masking tape, so I don't get any shit on the glass parts. This one's exposed, but this is like the big backpack part that's gonna go on the Xeon when I'm finished. And it's got these cords coming out. These are gonna plug into the back, and then underneath is there's a Argyagao shield that I fit in here, and then piping all around here, and then this is like a Verde Buster part, and I'm gonna fill in more details, and that pretty much just locks right in on the backpack like this. And then these tubes are gonna link up and go into some different slots down here.
I thought it had a yellow liquid inside it. That's why I said it looked like Sunny Delight.
That's actually, that makes a lot more sense now. I was looking at that comment and I was just like, what does he mean? I thought you meant the cab, because the cab was yellow originally. So I thought like everyone's like, oh, it's yellow. That's it. But no, that actually makes a lot more sense now. I think I'm actually, I have a test LED somewhere. I'm gonna put LEDs into the bottom of all the slots, and then I think I'm gonna put like paint inside of it and like slosh it upwards so it looks like there's liquid kind of sloshing around inside. And then I was thinking I might crack one and like put water effects, so it's like water is kind of like flying out of one of the tubes, and then paint the water to look the color of the liquid inside of it. It looks like nothing right now, but it's like I'm in that weird stage where I'm just like, I want to get to like the final bits of it. Like I want to paint it, I want to detail it, I want to do all that fun stuff. I'm just so tired of sanding.
Yeah, sanding is the worst part.
It's like you sand and then you gotta wait like 4 hours because your putty is drying, and then you wait, come back, you sand more, and then it's like there's 5 more gaps, and it's like, okay, I gotta, go back at it. And what I tend to do is I come home for my lunch break. So what I do is I putty like a kit, or like I putty some parts, and then, or like I sand it, and then I see all the places that need putty, and then I re-putty it, and then I go back to work, for a couple hours, and then I come back home when it's all dried and cured. And then I always do that like right before bed. I try to do like a lot of putty work right before bed, so it's like, I wake up the next day and it's all good. And I usually I really love my job, so I usually get like 1 day off a week, and I usually use that time lately to work on GBWC stuff. And obviously I try to work on the weekends, but the past, like, except last weekend was like the first time I didn't do anything in like 2 months, but every weekend has just been like crazy, so I can't like do anything. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I find that I get a lot more Gunpla work done during the week than on the weekend.
Yeah, it's like you have too much free time almost. I was almost gone this weekend. I don't know if I think I told you, but I'm starting to work for all of you, those of you who know Image Anime. I'm starting to work for them as a convention worker. So basically, I'm going to be going to conventions with them and setting stuff up. And my buddy Jeremy is working for them as well, and he's actually at Otakon right now. And I almost went to Otakon, but I didn't this time. But basically, I'm just going to be like a driver and a con setup guy. So if you guys are at cons, I will be there probably, maybe. Depends on the con. But that whole experience moving shops was like insanely tiring. Like,
I can imagine.
well, the thing was, like, they were like, okay, we're moving like everything this weekend, and we're gonna open Monday. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll be there. And I was like, Jeremy, can I stay at your house? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I was going to the city, and my plan was I was gonna work Saturday for like 6 hours, and then Sunday for like 8 hours or something. And one of my friends was like, hey, 1OK Rock is playing in New York. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he's like, do you want 2 free tickets to it? And it was like $80 worth of tickets. So I was like, yeah, I do actually, because they're my favorite band. So he gave me these tickets. So I worked at Image from like, I think it was like 10 or 11 a.m. to like 5. And then we went to the concert. We got back to Jeremy's at like midnight. And then we had to be up and out by like 8:30 the next day. So we were up and out on the subway. We stopped, got breakfast in Flushing, and we were like on the subway by like 10 or 9 or something. We get to Image, and we were at the old store, and our job was to like start moving all the stuff out. And we were working. And like the day is going on and on and on. And like I had a stack of old kits that I picked out that I wanted to buy at the new store, and they're still sitting there because I haven't had a chance to go to the new store yet. God, the thing that really is harping on my mind is I had a tuna sandwich and I left it there, and I just really hope someone threw it out by now because that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh my god.
So anyway, so I have a bunch of food and kits there that I left there. But anyway, so we're at like we're at the old shop, and it's like me, Jeremy, Ray, Noel, and like I think someone else was there for a while, but it was basically us, and we had to get all the stuff out from the basement and the top level, and we had to bring it all to the middle. And they're like, just focus on doing that, and then you guys can like leave or whatever. And it turned out that we needed to get everything done before 5 o'clock on Monday, and we didn't know that. We thought we had like an extra week. So I stayed there until 10:30, I think. So I worked from like 9 to 10:30 at Image, and like I didn't get home until like 2 a.m. and then I had to work at 8 a.m. the next day.
Oh my god.
So I was like super tired 2 weekends ago, but it was like a lot of fun. We got most of it moved, and I got a remote controlled Zaku out of it. So you know, it's fun. But I love Image. Like I love those guys. They're really nice. Like, a lot of people complain that their prices are too high, but you got to remember they're literally like smack dab in the middle of New York City. So it's like they have to charge a little bit extra. And they get stuff on the release date that it comes out in Japan. So you're paying, the extra $5 to get the kits the day they come out overseas.
Instead of having to wait 2 weeks like everybody else.
Yeah, like the Blue Destiny came out, and then the next day Image had it. Same with like the Real Great Unicorn and all that stuff. So it's like, and they're good guys. I like Image. Check that.
Yeah, I'll definitely go there when it comes up in October.
Yeah, we'll go one of the days we're up. I always forget because like I moved to Pennsylvania, so New York is up now. Yeah, we'll go. It's also really nice because they moved to 37th Street, so they're like a couple blocks away. They're a couple blocks away from like Kino and Book Off and Go-Go. So it's like, so you literally like go from like Book Off to Kino to Image to food.
Okay.
It's great. And then the subway is like a couple blocks away. But it's not like they moved like to the other end of the city or anything. It's literally just like 5 minutes.
Right.
The store's bigger too. It's nice. And then like I was drooling over all the resin kits we found, and there was apparently like 2 more boxes that I didn't get to get my meaty hands on yet. So I'm gonna try to find those the next time I'm.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that you found those. Because resin kits aren't
Yeah.
something you usually see in an American anime store.
Well, Wing, the guy who like owns the store, he was like one of the OG like resin dudes. Like all of the people that work there, like the older dudes, they're all
Yeah.
like OG like resin and vinyl kit makers. And
Right.
I think it was like they were like Wing said he's like we were part of like the second generation that started like importing these kits over. So they had like lots of old like Volk stuff, lots of old like B Club stuff, which is the victory that I got, and some other stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. Your mic is sounding like really fuzzy now for some reason. Somebody said it in the chat.
Does it sound better now?
No, it's like really like vibraty sounding.
Let's see. It might be like a internet issue.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully that'll clear up.
Yeah, somebody said you sound like Bane. Yeah, I haven't been to Gundam Planet in a while. I'm excited to go back on Saturday. Miss the planet. Actually, the last time I was there is when I picked up the white base. So it was like a month and a half, 2 months ago. Did you ever go to Gundam Planet?
No, I've never been there.
Oh boy. Well, we're gonna have to change that. Well, the thing is, it's only an hour and 20 minutes away from where I live, so it's like, quick pit stop. It's like it's literally like right on the outskirts of the city. Like you can literally see New York City from like Palisades, which is where it is.
Right.
And also, there's this place called Mitsuya that I think you might actually like more than Gundam Planet.
That's like sort of like a Japanese supermarket, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Japanese supermarket and like food mall, so you can get like really I like to get the udon, or well, Britt likes to get the udon. I really like the katsu and stuff. And there's tons and tons of food, and it's like there's literally everything. I love it's so basic, but I love the rice balls. Like there's a supermarket that sells like really good rice balls with like spicy tuna and shit. I really like those, and I really like the sweet buns that they sell and stuff. And then there's like in the supermarket, it's like there's a whole like candy toy section, and they have like the mini Gunpla kits. And they sometimes have like Converge, and they had Assault Kingdoms for a while, and they had the new like little, I don't know what they're called, these guys, the new SD, whatchamacallits.
No, EX standard.
Yeah. They had like all those, and then you go outside, and there's a Kinokuniya right there too. So it's like the Japanese bookstore is like right there. It's a smaller one than the one we went to in New York City, but it's still like it's a Kino.
Right.
And then right next to it is a store called, it's like a huge toy store, and I forget what it's called. I think it's called Mars. Yeah, it's called Mars, and they have like an abhorrent amount of Gunpla, but it's all really overpriced, so nobody ever buys it.
Right.
But then they have a whole Gashapon section that's it's all like what are they called? The one, like the ones that you got, the Next, the Senshi Next, and the whatever the other ones are called, the new ones.
Forte.
Yeah, whatever it's called. But they have all those, and then they've got all like the festival masks, and they've got a bunch of like Tonika products, and then they've got Japanese stationery, and then the coolest thing in there is a cabinet that the owner owns, and the cabinet has like all this vintage stuff in it, and he has like all these really old like Gunpla like figures and stuff. And he's got a ton of really old Ava toys that are like in there. So it's
Right.
it's a really cool like little display cabinet that has like a bunch of really cool old vintage stuff. And there's like an Exia like dabbing in it. It's just I love it. So that store is really cool. I get a lot of Gashapon there, and I'm trying to think that whole area is just really cool. I love doing like a Gundam Planet trip, because a Gundam Planet trip means you go to Mitsuya and you get really good food too. So it's like really good Japanese food, really cool like Japanese bookstore, Japanese toy store, and then you go to Gundam Planet, which is like essentially the biggest Gunpla place you can go to in America. And look at there's like a huge, line of all the painted kits that they have on display, and there's the big Gundam. It's like you're in Japan almost. And then I drive an hour home, which is really cool that it's only an hour away from me.
Is my audio sounding any better? I've turned down the video quality a little bit. Okay, good.
Yeah, it sounds all better now.
Yeah, I turned down the video quality to hopefully make the audio a bit better.
Yeah. Oh my god. So I found a model train store near me that sells really thin evergreen claw plate.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy about that because it's super cheap. I got like I don't know how much they normally are, but I got like the packs of the little, like the really, really thin strips.
Yeah.
For like, I think they're like $3.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find evergreen. I mostly find plastruct.
Yeah, I found a lot of plastruct too. That's usually around here because again, I'm in Pennsylvania, so there's like a train store every 5 feet.
Right.
So I tend to find a lot of the like building materials in those shops, which is really nice. Okay. I gotta plug in my headset, so I gotta find that.
All right.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah, I basically got the general structure for these wings done now. So 1/60th scale wing Gundam wings. I'm just gonna like scribe the yellow rim that goes along the top edge. I'm just gonna do that with panel lines and then mask it off and paint it. But I did get the vents down in there with some it's actually one of these wave mold plates. It's just a piece of ply plate with vent texture on it. So
that's awesome. I love that like hollow slit. Are you gonna put like the little vents in there and stuff?
yeah, it's awesome. Actually already down in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I figured it would make more sense to do that before you glue the parts together.
Yeah, it's a whole lot easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make the tiny little red wings.
I keep thinking of like all these really cool ideas that I don't want to do for Diorama, but I am not going to because it would not be done for GBWC. So I'm like saving them all, and I'm gonna do like a 2.0 eventually. I was actually thinking like of making this like an extended universe sort of thing, where I make like a bunch of pieces about these like steam engine mechs, and making like a team of them or something. Because one of the engines has like a big number 6 on the chest, and somebody commented on it. It was like, "Oh man, like it says number 6. Like I want to see the other 5." And I'm like, "Fuck." I guess I could make 5 someday, maybe. But
GBWC projects for the next 2 or 3 years.
I actually already have my idea for next year, and it came to me in like a weird like vision that I was having at work. It was like a daydream more, but I don't know. It's like a very loose idea, so it's like nobody can really steal it if I tell it anyway. So it's like basically I want to take like I'm gonna sculpt like a 1:6 scale person like out of milliput or resin or something,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm gonna integrate it in sort of like a like the door from Full Metal Alchemist that has like the big tree of life on it, sort of
Oh,
thing.
right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna take that like behind it and like branch out like all these like mobile suits kind of like morphing out of this like tablet and like make it this like huge like spiritual piece and just kind of like call it Gundam. Nothing else than that.
That just sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't know what gave me that idea. I saw something that like I thought about, and I'm like, man, like I wonder if you slapped a Gundam on that, and then that idea somehow came out of that at some point. But
Yeah, the things I've been kicking around in my head lately have been trying to weigh the options of 3D printing for scratch building.
Alan did a video on that, Makana Man, I think.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't think that I would invest in an actual 3D printer, but I would totally be down for using like a service like what's it called? I just had a brain fart. Shapeways.
Shapeways, yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that like 3D printed stuff usually has like a rough texture, like the striations on it. So I think that would be suitable for making the basic structure of something, and then going in and sanding that down and detailing it, and then getting it to its final final form, and then like recasting it or something.
Yeah, what I saw somebody do was I think it was a transformer they 3D printed, and then like since it was like a statue or something, so it was pretty smooth. So they just kind of like went over the whole thing with like Tamiya putty and sanded it all smooth, and it looked great. So I think it's like it's really how you design it, because like if it's like a statue or something that's like more rounded, I think it works better. Like this is 3D printed actually. This is a chisel holder for all the chisels. Jeremy, this is Jeremy's. And his friend has like a 3D printer, so he 3D prints like chisel holders for him. And feeling this, like you can feel the ridges on it, but looking at it, it's like you could totally sand like all that down.
Yeah,
like, it would be very easy, and it's
probably costs a lot less than this thing.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel bad because I'm like not looking at the chat.
I'm keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, I'll let you like handle the chat because I'm like
they're mostly talking amongst themselves.
Yeah, I figured. We'll do like I figured maybe in a while we'll do like a Q&A thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of like let people ask some questions and stuff.
Yeah, that might be good to do for like the next one.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, we should do this. We should do this like maybe not weekly, but we should do
like once a month.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm getting Sahara messages.
Everybody's doing that all of a sudden.
I don't know. All the ones that I've gotten are just really funny. But they're either funny or they're just nice. But I don't know, like it's like Form Spring. That was like a huge thing years and years ago. But yeah, all the ones that I've been getting lately are just like really funny. So.
What do I think of the P-Bandai Master Grade Sandrock Custom? I've actually already pre-ordered it, so definitely getting that. I mean, I got a complete. So. Oh wait, I haven't uploaded videos on those. Well, I uploaded Ultron's unboxing video this week. I've actually already built and painted Ultron and Heavy Arms Custom, but I didn't want to interrupt the flow of Nero videos, so I held off on uploading those until I was done with the Nero. Plus, those will give me some stuff to upload while I'm working on this Wing Gundam.
I have videos too. Not really.
I legit have unboxing videos that for kits that I snapped together like 3 years ago that I haven't uploaded yet.
I don't know. I was thinking of just doing like a couple like tiny little build videos, like where I snap something and like kind of not do a time lapse, but like I record the whole thing, but cut it down to like a 5-minute video.
Right.
Just be like, okay, I built it. This is kind of what I think about it. But like the days of me like sitting down and like putting a kit in front of me and just kind of blabbering about it are kind of done. I don't know. I just like it was a lot of fun a long time ago, but I'm so like self-critical with my videos lately that I'm just like I did a couple reviews and I'm just like I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to upload this, so I just didn't. So maybe I'll do like a little like edited video in the future, but for the past like couple years I've really just been trying to concentrate on like the Gunpla more than like the video side of things, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I think it paid off and helped. Because like all the time I would have spent editing videos, I've been spending on kits, which I'm happy about. Because I think like I kind of took this hiatus from doing videos, and I kind of upped my skills a little bit. And now that you know I've upped my skills a little bit, I feel like I can actually make videos on stuff about because like I felt like I just didn't know anything. And I know like I know a tiny bit now, so I feel like I'll just do videos on the little tiny bits that I know.
Yeah, I've got a lot of tutorial videos that I uploaded a few years ago, and I was like, there's so much information in here that's not correct.
Yeah.
Or there's stuff that I left out.
There's like videos I look at where I'm like I pronounce things wrong, or like or I'm talking about like this thing that's totally a thing, but it's not actually a thing. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of glad I can't like find my old videos anymore. So I'm just like I don't even want to know like the horrible information I doled out in that. Oh well. Man. I have this like some sort of like infection in my left eye, I think, and it keeps like it just keeps watering constantly, and like I thought it was pink eye, but I don't think it is. But it just like it won't stop watering. So I have to keep like dabbing my eye every couple of seconds.
Hopefully that's nothing serious.
No, it shouldn't be. I think if it like stays through the weekend, I'm just gonna go to the doctor. But it's like it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just really annoying because like one of my eyes looks like I'm constantly like crying, and the other one's just fine. So I'm just like, don't look at me.
Someone asked where I got the masking tape cutting jigs. I actually got these from Hobby Link Japan. I mean, that's where I buy like 99% of my stuff. They're called Voyager model easy cutting jigs, by the way.
I gotta get some plot plate stuff, like cutters and crap. Okay. So I've been sanding this head part for about an hour now. I feel like I should test prime it, but I'm not sure. So what do you think of that new GNX that came out this morning?
I mean, it's a build fighters kit, so I feel like they probably did that for the 0010th anniversary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like so they can kind of kill two birds with one stone, have something for 00 and something for build fighters.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And people will easily be able to mod that into a GNX4.
Yeah. I want a kit of the God, it's such a dumb GNX, but I love it. It's like the ninja one that has like the grabby feet.
Oh yeah, the one that hangs upside down.
Yeah, that was the one that I hung upside down in my hotel room when I was in Florida. And I was like, I kept it on the ceiling for 3 days, and it stayed.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I want a kit of that. But the thing is, like, I can just see people like getting a kit of that and building it, and the joints in the feet would be like really loose, and it would just be smashed, and it would just be like a meme all over the place that it just would break. I think Bandai probably saw that too, and they're just like, nah,
we're not doing that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, on the Robot Damashi that I have, the feet are like the joints for it to hang upside down are like really tight. So they have like a really big metal joint that goes in there. So it's definitely like specially designed for that. And
Right.
I don't know if you could do that in a normal release high grade.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh well, I have the Damashi. I'm happy. Feels weird that I have finally ended up using an LBX kit for something. Because I used the shield for the backpack, but I also used these like circle bits on the side of the head. They're parts from the same LBX. I don't actually know what they originally were, but they fit, so they exist here now.
Someone asked, what do you call the yellow putty used for remodeling? That would be milliput.
Yeah, that's milliput. Funny enough,
Tamiya putty is kind of a tan color. It's about the same.
Yeah.
Epoxy putty, rather.
I got some version of milliput the other day because they were out of the yellow type on Amazon. So I bought the terracotta color.
Right.
So it looks like brick.
Yeah.
And it's actually the whole reason why it looks like that is because it's used for like
fixing
patching of like for pottery stuff. Because like if you look in the box on the instruction, there's like all that all that jib jab about you can use it for like fixing leaks.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like nobody's using it for that.
Yeah.
I've used the white milliput before.
I've never heard of the white one.
It's supposedly smoother than the yellow, but I didn't notice a whole lot of difference.
I'd believe it. And I have the only like white putties I've used is the Mr. White putty, which I honestly, I've been meaning to ask you that for a while. What is the difference between like the normal Tamiya putty and the Mr. White putty? But I know the Tamiya dries like way faster.
I've never used Mr. White putty. It's the kind in the tube, like the little metal, like one of these.
Hold on, I have it here. Yeah, just this.
I don't know. I haven't used it, but I assume that it's basically the same as Tamiya putty. Maybe it's just white instead of gray.
It takes a long time to dry.
Oh, you know what? I bet it's the same as Tester's putty because it's also white, and it's alcohol based instead of lacquer based. And it's a lot softer when it finally does cure, and it does take a lot longer to dry.
Yeah.
I don't care for Tester's putty at all. I quit using it.
Yeah.
So that's probably what it is. It's probably an alcohol-based putty.
I used it like one time, and that was it.
Yeah.
It took like 2 days to dry, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, that's what I remember Tamiya putty being like, or Tester's putty being like. For people who are just now getting in the chat, I know a few people have asked what custom kit I'm working on. I'm modifying a 1/60th scale no grade Wing Zero into a Wing Gundam. And right now I'm in the middle of scratch building the wings.
I don't know what I'm doing. This is young. Like, man, I'm literally just making this up as I go along. Like, I have no clue what I'm doing with this.
There's a lot of freedom in doing that, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I was with my GVWC last year. Like, I had a general idea, but most of it I was just making up as I went along.
Yeah, that's the thing about, like, I've found in doing dioramas is, like, you have this really awesome, like, freedom, but actually, I talked to Win a lot about this, and a lot of people, when they make dioramas, they make the diorama for, like, the general, I forget how you worded it, it's like, it's just for the mobile suit, like, it's a stand, like a glorified stand.
Right.
And he said, in a way, he's like, I like dioramas, and he's like, my favorite types are the dioramas that tell a story, and like the mobile suit is interacting with the environment in a fluid way, and that's like how I like to portray dioramas. That's how I like to do it. So when I make one, it's like I don't know what I want to do with them. Like when I made this, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these mobile suits. Like I have no clue, like how they're gonna turn out. So I just made them up as I went along. But I had like a general idea for like the size, but at the same time, it's like I don't know exactly what they can do in the environment that I'm building. So you have to kind of build them as you're building the environment at the same time,
Right.
and then eventually you can put them both in, and then at the end when it really starts flushing together and you figure out what you made, that's great.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's been one I'm technically speaking, I've only made 2 dioramas, but out of the 2 dioramas that I've made in my long life, the concept changed dramatically from the initial concept, or the I should say the final outcome changed from the concept, because I would have these like originally I was gonna have like my first year that I entered, and it was the Marasai and the EZ8. I was originally going to have the EZ8 kind of like pinned against the wall of the hill thing, and the Marasai I was going to be kind of kicking backwards, like ready to stab it, and it was going to be like punting one of the train cars as its foot was coming back. And then I was looking at it, and I'm like, no, like this would be like more dynamic, and I changed stuff around. And then like last year I was originally going to have 4 mobile suits in my thing, but I was like, I'm not going to finish if I do 4 mobile suits because I have 16 days left. So,
Right.
So like the original, it was just like it wasn't going to change it too dramatically. There was just going to be like another Fetty mobile suit coming in from somewhere, but still, like it changed kind of how I had things. So I built the mobile suits and I primed them, and then I got to build the world more. So it's like I have to have the mobile suits like primed and like ready to be posed how they're going to be posed before I can even start working on the world, which unfortunately is my favorite part, and that's what I'm itching to do.
Right.
So once I get these guys like at least primed, I can start working on like the tracks and the trucks and the buildings and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
so I think to reward myself.
That was most of the criticism for my Leo diorama, is that it wasn't really interacting with the diorama. Is that it was just sort of standing there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, makes sense, and I'll take that in consideration for future projects. So.
Yeah. I mean, like it makes sense for some things. Like I personally, I like everything. I like dynamic dioramas. I like standing dioramas. It makes sense though, because like it wasn't fighting anything. It would be a little weird if it was like in some pose where it was like firing at something, but like it was just kind of chilling there.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I think it makes sense.
It was like on guard duty.
Yeah. Just the Leo guy on guard. Gotta order my LEDs tomorrow.
I'm still gonna order some for my wing Gundam.
I'm getting so nervous. I'm so nervous. I know we have like 50-something days left, but still just like, Oh boy. So, I got a lot of P-Bandai stuff coming in. I realized today. I didn't realize how much I had it like tallied up.
Yeah.
Because it's so cheap getting it through Ricardo. So like,
Yeah.
and also Jeremy like wants stuff, and my friend Sebastian wants stuff. So like, I'm just like, hey, can you get like 3 of this thing for me? He's like, yeah, sure. And they PayPal me, and then I just PayPal him.
Right.
So like, Jeremy wanted a Pell Rider, obviously. So I got him a Pell Rider. And then he wanted one of the GNXs, so I put in a thing for that. And then one of my friends wanted heavy arms. And then I was like, well, fuck, I want one. So, like, I got the heavy arms. And then I got a Pale Rider. And then I forget what else. Oh, I ordered, I got 2 Hazels, but those are for me.
Yeah.
And he explained how it worked. It's actually pretty interesting because there's like 7 ways, apparently, in Japan that you can pay for P-Bandai stuff. But since he's a foreigner, he only has like 3 options, I think, or something like that.
Right.
And he can pay on Amazon, and you pay on Amazon for like the bigger stuff that's like the I think it's stuff that's over like, let's say like 10,000 yen, I think. And
Perfect
so like
items.
the master, yeah, and like the bigger master grades, I think, like they want them to pay on Amazon for like the Hazels for whatever reason.
Right.
So you do that, and then there's it's POC, and it's pay at convenience. So you just go to a convenience store and you can pay for it there.
Oh my god.
And then there's like, I think there's POD, which is pay on delivery, and you pay like the delivery
Right.
person. I think that's how it works.
I don't even think they do that in America anymore.
Oh no, I don't think they do. It's like America's so like unsafe and untrustworthy. They can't. But yeah, those are like the 3 options that he has. Because I was asking him, because sometimes like I pay in advance for stuff, and then sometimes he's like, "Don't worry about it. Like, just pay me like when it comes out." And then sometimes he's like, "Hey, I need the money for it like up front." So I was asking him like what the difference was. And he explained it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that makes sense. Are you guys building models? I don't know. Maybe.
Creating models.
What is mobile kit? Super excited about the P-Bandai. Yeah, I'm super excited about the P-Bandai Hazel too, because I ordered 2. And technically I'll have 3 because I've got the Magic Toys one that I never did anything with.
Yeah.
That someone graciously bought for me.
I'm wondering how long it's going to be before we get P-Bandai Hazel variants.
Yeah, because, I would think, if, in my opinion, if I was a Bandai person and I was going to do it, I would make the custom, which is the base, the one that's coming out, normal release, and then I would do the Hazel 2 and the Advanced Hazel as P-Bandai's, because those are literally the same, like, exact thing, except with different, actually, no, the Advanced Hazel's different. The Advanced Hazel's got, like, a lot of Mark II elements in it.
The Advanced Hazel is always my favorite.
Yeah.
I like the little arms on the skirt armor.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's like a ton of options there that they could have done with, like, P-Bandai releases, but the thing is, like, I think they know how bad people want the Hazel, and...
Yeah.
I don't work for Bandai. I don't know how it all works, but I figure if we get that, maybe in the future we'll get the other ones, but I don't know.
I mean, looking at the release schedule, we're getting like 3 times as many, 2 or 3 times as many P-Bandai kits as standard releases every year.
Yeah, there's like a crazy amount of them. which, you know, for people like us that have connections to Japan, it's not really a problem. But for like the normal American retail market, I mean, like,
it makes a lot of people angry.
Oh yeah, not a day goes by where I don't see someone complaining about P-Bandai, which is like, you know, it's whatever. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like, if, you know, like one of my favorite mobile suits ever is the Zaku 2 real type colors, and like there was a web shop exclusive Tamashii figure that came out of it, and I wanted it. And the Zaku 2 Damashi's like...
Ed, your audio just went out. Okay, Ed's gone. Wait, coming back. Can everybody still see and hear me?
Sorry, my internet just died out.
Okay.
I don't know why I did that. It's dead. I'm not dead. Maybe. I don't know. That's weird. Like, we have two internet things in the house, and like the strong one just kind of like disappeared.
Right. Sounds like it's going out again. No, I haven't heard of any Gundam games released for the Nintendo Switch. Of course, then again, I don't really pay much attention to video games nowadays.
All right, can you hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, I'll just leave that at that and see if I stay alive. Yeah, basically, my whole thing is like I was willing to pay up to like $120 for the Zaku,
Right.
because, you know, it's like one of my favorite mobile suits. I love the real type colors, and I love the Zaku, and I love the Robot Tamashii anime line. And I eventually hunted it down, and I think I paid for it maybe 120. I can't remember. No, it was, but and then it, you know, stupid me, it went down in price later on. But my point is, like, you know, they're complaining about their favorite mobile suits coming out, and they're like P-Bandai kits. You'd think they'd be willing to shell out the extra like $30 or $40 it cost to get it, you know, to them. And, you know, it's like, I get like collectors are like, well, I need that for my collection, and like, you know, it's like having like a whole binder of like Pokemon cards, and you're missing like some basic like Caterpie card, and that's like the only one you don't have, and it's like you have to pay like $80 for that card. It's like you don't want to pay $80 for that card, but you need it for your set, you know. And it's like, I think that's what a lot of people feel, because there's a lot of people in America that are just, they're collectors, you know. They collect Gunpla and they build it and they put the figure on the shelf, and that's what they do. And they want like the whole set. So it's like when they don't have that, it's like, well, they're forcing me to, you know, shell out the money for it.
Yeah.
And for, you know, people like us that like, you know, there's like minor things or repaints, and we're just like, oh, we'll just make it. A lot of people, you know, can't. There's a lot of people that, you know, they don't want to, or they can't do that. So I think that's where like the general is, that there are people, you know, obviously Gunpla is perceived in 900 different ways by everybody, and I think it's like the people that really like collect stuff, and they don't paint, and they don't, you know, want to do anything beyond that, and that's fine. It's like a stick in the side, because it's like, you know, I want this kit, but, you know, why does it cost, you know, so much more? Blah, blah, blah.
And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that most P-Bandai kits cost about the same as your average high grade or master grade or whatever. It's having to go through a middleman is the expensive part.
Yeah.
Especially if you go through like Amazon or eBay or something.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if you knew this, but Mandarake actually just opened an eBay store.
Oh, for real?
You can get P-Bandai kits for very cheap there, because they're basically like, they're secondhand, but it's like, they're like, oh, like one of the bags is opened, or like, oh, the box is a little damaged, so it's like 60% less than it would be for retail. Like, there's a high grade Crossbone X3 for like, I think it's like 15 or 20 bucks.
Right.
And it's like, well, so there's a lot of options, and then like, you know, Xavier's trying so hard to bring over stuff to the Bluefin site in America, and he's like, I forget what he put up a test the other day about coming out that everybody's asking about, and he's like trying so hard to get it over here. But it's like there are options.
Did he have anything to do with that XN Riser getting released over here?
Yes, that was all him. That was literally all his doing.
That's awesome.
I think so. I don't know. I'm like 90% sure it was him, but he pulls a lot of weight. He pulls a lot of weight for like kits coming over here, and it's not just like, you gotta remember, like, Bluefin isn't just handling Gunpla; they're handling, you know, all the other stuff that comes over here, and like the Star Wars kits and you know, all the other crap. So it's like they have a lot on their plate, and it's like at the end of the day, it's like the one problem that, you know, a lot of people come up with, or like, you know, the one problem that really affects like a certain individual is like minuscule in the grand scheme of things, because it's like, you know, if Bandai isn't gonna help Bluefin fix it, Bluefin can't help you fix it.
Right.
So yeah, it's a really odd system. And like, oh man, this is kind of related, I guess, but I was looking up GBWC rules for like the other countries, and it's insane the restrictions some countries have. And I find it very interesting, because if you look at some of the countries, like the Philippines and stuff, you know, I think it's like more of the Philippines, but like there are certain areas that have like all the kits on display are usually like of the same kind of thing, not the same thing, but like you see a lot of new kits like in certain countries, and it's like you see an overwhelming amount of like IBO or like build fighters and like stuff like that, and I was curious about that, because like in other countries you see like older stuff. In the Philippines, I again, sorry if I'm wrong here, giving the wrong country, I believe it's the Philippines. Bandai has a deal with Toys R Us there, so you can't compete in GBWC unless you buy a kit from Toys R Us, and you have to give your receipt at GBWC for the kit.
I remember hearing about that.
And the big thing is because, one, again, they're huge thing with Toys R Us over there, because, you know, Toys R Us in like Asian countries is pretty bomb, because they have like, you know, they have all the Japanese Transformers, and they have like all the connections to the Japanese companies, so they get a lot better products in America. But you know that you get lots of bootlegs too. So what they're doing is they're trying to crack down on bootlegs and people using bootlegs for GBWC entries, because I remember like a couple of years ago somebody entered like the Elin Kshatriya in like a competition, and it won something, and everyone was like, what? Like, you can't do this.
What, GBWC?
Years ago. But yeah, so the whole thing with the receipts, like, you realize it's like, oh, you can only buy kits that like Toys R Us is selling, like current release stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, it restricts you so much. And like, I'm not saying that like, you know, their entries are anything less. They're amazing, but it's like,
they just have fewer kits to work from.
Yeah, like I would go nuts, because like, I mean, like, I guess it's like, as long as the base kits are from Toys R Us, it's fine. Like, you can mod the hell out of them with other parts and stuff. So it's like, technically speaking, it's like, okay, I'm gonna buy a Hosh Mall, and somehow I'm gonna turn it into a Psycho Gundam.
Exactly.
But like, you know, it I don't know. It's interesting how the rules change. And I was talking to somebody about it, and I was like, if America did that, like, we just wouldn't have GBWC, because like we don't have a main distributor here, besides from like, we have Barnes and Nobles. Yeah,
you buy like again, 5 kits.
Yeah, now it's all Dragon Ball kits. Like,
yeah,
and the thing is like, not every Barnes & Noble sells Gunpla. Like, a lot of them don't. Like, a ton of them don't.
Mine stopped selling it.
Yeah, a lot of them are stopping because they're just not doing well. Like, a lot of the kits are going into, like, the sales bins, and, like, and it's because, like, they're not selling good models. Like, they're just selling, like, the same generic stock that, if you notice, Bluefin has a very set, like, stock list, it seems.
Right.
And, like, you don't see stuff, I mean, that's obvious because it's not going to sell as much, but you don't see stuff like high-grade Universal Century kits popping up. You don't see, like, a high-grade Dom or, like, a high-grade Zaku Sniper.
Yeah.
You're going to see, like, the build burning, or you're going to see, you know, RX, which I'm not complaining about, but you see the popular stuff coming over here, and
all the newest
popular
stuff.
Yeah, and the popular stuff isn't necessarily what everybody wants to build, because, like, I know for a fact that, like, you know, I'm more into, like, Xeon suits, like, older high-grade Universal Century kits,
Right.
and I've never been over there. Like, I don't know how the Toys R Us's are and how their stocks are, but it just seems like they wouldn't have, you know, that sort of stuff. But again, coming to America, it's like, if you look at a place that distributes Bluefin models, it's like the same thing everywhere. Like, it's the same, like, 5-10 kits
I've
that
noticed that.
come down the pipeline. Yeah, it's always it's obviously Bear Guys, because Bear Guys and you guys sell.
Ton of Bear Guys.
The master, for a while there, it was the master grade Build Fighters kits for some reason.
Yeah.
It was the high grade Build Burning is everywhere. The high grade Origin Gundam and the master grade Origin Gundam, or not the high grade Origin Gundam, the high grade the high grade Revive Gundam, and what's the other thing I'm thinking of? Real grades are everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why real grades are so, like, everywhere in America, but they are. Like, also, GameStop. My local GameStop started selling Gunpla, and it's the same stuff that Barnes & Noble gets. There's no variety. Like, it's the same stuff, and it's like,
I've seen Dragon Ball kits at my GameStop.
Yeah. They started getting, like, Dragon Ball stuff. They started getting, like, Nendroids. You know, that's fine. Like, I'm glad that it's coming over here, don't get me wrong. I'm like, and it makes sense because the market here is so small that it's like, you know, generally speaking, when you look at, like, kits, I mean, like, think back to when, you know, maybe it's different for you, but when I was, like, you know, 12 and I started looking at Gundams, I was like, I want the cool, you know, super one, you know, the main dude. I don't want the dumb Xeon looking guys, you know, like, I want the flashy hero, and that's what sells. So of course they're not going to put, like, this huge variety of kits up, and if they did, it would, like, you know, the market would crash in America for it, and nobody would buy anything, and Bandai would pull out, and you know, blah blah blah. So it's like, it does suck that we only have, like, a certain number of kits. Yeah, but
not all of them are like that though, because my Hobbytown USA usually has a pretty good selection of some stuff from, like, the past 5 or 6 years or so.
I've noticed hobby towns. I don't have a hobby town near me, but I've seen other people's hobby towns, and they're usually, like, lit with really good kits. Like, really nice.
Unfortunately, they are kind of disappearing.
Yeah. I don't think Hobby Lobby ever had them, but Hobby Lobby, like, carried, like, Tamiya stuff. I know that, but...
Yeah, I get Tamiya stuff from Hobby Lobby all the time.
Yeah.
Apparently, since they're a Christian company, they don't want to sell Gundams because the V-fins resemble double horns. At least that's what I heard.
Wait, say that again? Sorry.
Apparently, since Hobby Lobby is a Christian company, they won't sell Gundams because the V-fins resemble double horns.
Really? Oh, wow. That's
I just heard that somewhere online. I don't know if it's true or not.
I believe it.
But they'll sell Nazi tank model kits.
Yeah, they'll sell kits of SS soldiers, but they won't sell like fantasy robots.
Mm.
I guess because it's, like, you know, it's historical accuracy, but still. I haven't been to a Hobby Lobby in years. There was, like, one in New York that was, like, kind of by me, and, well, actually, it was like a 2-hour drive, so it wasn't really near me at all, but it was like I went there once, and it was like it just I don't know. It wasn't like worth the drive because it was like, oh, milliput and Tamiya putty, cool. Like it'd be convenient if this was like down the street, but it's like, you know, I can see why it would be like way more convenient though if you were like really near it.
Yeah, my town is just now getting a hobby lobby. It's supposed to open in like a couple months.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'll be able to get milliput and Tamiya stuff pretty easily now.
That's cool. I'm glad it's on like Amazon Prime though, 'cause that's usually where I do it.
Yeah, that's where I usually get milliput is Amazon. This is probably about time to wrap this up. We've been going for about 2 hours.
Oh wow, have you?
Yeah.
I've literally just been sampling like one part the whole thing. Oh man. Yeah, so I guess if you guys have any like quick questions, maybe shoot a couple out, but we'll do this again sometime. We'll do like a full Q&A thing. And like we also wanted to do this on Henry's channel because I have like I think a 12th of the subs that Henry has. So we figured we would get a better audience if we did it on his channel. So maybe we'll do the next one on mine, maybe not.
Someone just asked how long will it be before my Oz project is finished. The only kit I have to build for the Oz project is the Tragos, and I have no idea when I'll get to it, but I will get to it eventually. So maybe sometime next year, I don't know. It depends on whether I feel like doing a full scratch build or not.
I remember when you gave me like all my tools and stuff, I was like, I'm gonna finish the Oz project someday, and then I was like, I thought about it like several times, and I'm like, it's still someday, like, not like,
I'll pass. What happened to your Wing Proto Zero?
Oh, literally the exact same answer that I just gave for Tragos. It will be finished one day, just whenever I feel like working on it, which is not at this moment in time.
Hey Chris, I see Chris is in the chat. Jordan, what putty takes one drive? Because it's a smooth type putty, longer cure time, better leveling, smooth push. Okay, so I guess maybe it's kind of like the dissolved putty in a way, where it's like it just fills in better. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. And it's basically the same idea with paint.
Yeah.
Somebody, Juno's asking about the colors.
I like them both. The wave cutter is a whole lot cheaper. They're both good for different things. The wave cutter obviously has the angle guide on it, which is it's useful, but it's not like 100% accurate. It's probably like 99.5% accurate. So if you need to be super precise, I would use a protractor instead of this thing. But it does have that, so that's cool. And I feel like the God hand cutter cuts smoother. Measurement guide on it, so that's nice. But you can only cut pieces up to 2 millimeters thick just because of the design. And with the wave cutter, you can cut pieces pretty much whatever thickness you want. So both of them have their pros and cons. I definitely cut down on cutting up plot plate with a hobby knife. I know that much.
Oh my god, I'm so sick of doing that. I've like there's this one part on the shin guards that I'm cutting with claw plate for Hercules, and it's like I've probably cut the part like 9 times, and I just keep messing it up. So
you should track down one of these wave cutters because they're not but like 15 or 20 bucks. Yeah. The God hand cutter is expensive as hell, but the wave cutter is pretty cheap.
I will. I'll keep that on my shopping list because like I I need something because I don't have anything right now. Like cutting wise, I have scissors and I have my hobby knife and I have sandpaper. So.
Godhand also makes these little plot plate scissors. They're not really good for cutting straight lines because they tend to warp the plot plate a little bit when you cut. But I found that they're pretty good for cutting curves.
That's what I need. So
yeah, like you'll still have to do some sanding, but it's good for just cutting out the rough shape.
If I can get the general shape, I don't mind sanding. I honest to God, I like sanding. Like it's very therapeutic for me, especially doing like curves and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I do the same part 9 times, I kind of want to whip my head off. So.
Yeah.
Boy, this head sure is smooth that I've been sanding it for 2 hours. What's your favorite Gundam series? Oh, boy. I don't know, Henry, what's your favorite Gundam series?
I think everybody knows what my favorite Gundam series is.
Yeah.
But if they want to know numbers 2 and 3, it is Stardust Memory and the 8th MS Team.
Good choices. I fucking love all of it. Like, it's so hard for me to pick. Like, I really love, like, Thunderbolt, but I really love, like, 0079. But I really love, like, Build Fighters, and I really love IBO. And I just love Gundam. Like, I love all of them. I really can't, like, pick a favorite, because, like, every time I watch a series, it's like, okay, this series is about this. Like, this is what I'm going to get my mindset into. And I'm just, like, totally about it. And I'm like, I want to buy all the kits. And I want to, like, run around. And I want to cosplay these people. And blah, 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 blah. So it's like, and then, like, you know, I watch a new show. And I'm just like, I still love the old one. But I'm not done buying the kits. But now I got to buy all the kits from the new one. Like, it's like, that's actually how I'm feeling right now with 00 and IBO. Because, like, I watched IBO. And I was like, oh, that thing is sick. Like, I want a kit of that. Like, the, oh, God, what are they called? The big dude with the double-edged sword. Or the, not the bull helmet guy. Yeah, the bull helmet dude that, like, didn't do anything, but his mobile suit was really awesome from IBO.
Helmwidge Flinker.
Yeah. Like that, and, like, the Rusego, and the fucking, what are they called? The sheet end frames. Like, I want like 30 of them. And like, look at, and like all the grazes. And I'm just like, oh, I want to paint this. I want to get this. And like, I've bought like 10 IBO kits. And then I started 00 again because I was like rewatching it for the anniversary. And we just finished it last night. And I'm like, it's very bad that I'm going Gunpla shopping Friday and Saturday because I'm gonna come home with like 15 00 kits. And like. I want to do them, but like they're just gonna be snapped and then like put off to the side because I gotta finish GBWC. So maybe in like 2 months I'll do one. But
yeah,
I don't know. I love each Gundam. Like each Gundam series has its own like quirks, and like they're all interesting in their own way. And I guess I like too much stuff, but
I mean that's one of the good things about it is like if you like giant robots, there's a chance that Gundam is going to have some series that meets your specific taste in giant robots, whether it's like super robots or gritty, realistic stuff or like super flashy stuff.
Yeah, and it's like there's like certain series that are like really realistic and they're really like down to earth, like the UC stuff, which I love, and then there's like Build Fighters, which is like dorky fun, and I love both of them because it's like. They're just, you know, they don't try to like insult the other one, you know what I mean? It's like they're their own show. It's its own thing, and it's like I don't know. It's like I feel like all the Gundam series that like exist by themselves are just like they're their own thing, and I like that they're like their own thing.
Yeah.
I'm rambling, but you get it. PG Sinanju. That's not a question, but. I want, you know what? I honestly want. It's really stupid, but I want it.
What?
I want a perfect grade Suzabi.
I'd buy that.
I'd buy a perfect grade New Gundam and a perfect grade Suzabi. New Gundam would be horrible though. It would fall over.
Yeah, it'd have to come with some kind of stand like Neo Grades 160 scale New Gundam.
Yeah. Or like the one they gave the 00 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I love a New Gundam. Cool. New Gundam's one of my favorite Gundams, so I'm kind of biased, but what is?
So when do you want to do this again? About a month from now?
Yeah, man. Like, I'm down for whenever. That'd be actually really cool to like do it in a month, and then we can kind of go over like where we are GBWC wise.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, obviously you and I are both at different stages, and I'm like, I upload like daily to my Facebook video progress on, or my Facebook like progress on the stuff, but like, I don't really like do that many videos on it. I have like one video up of it, but I think that'd be cool to do it in like exactly a month. So yeah, man, like we could do it on like September 10th, maybe. We'll do that. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. So I mean, we had a really healthy chat too. Like, damn, a lot of people showed up. That's awesome.
Let's see. I can't see how many people are in the chat.
Yeah, I tried looking for that earlier. Pour, drink, and chill. Yeah, I was actually thinking about going and getting some beer, but I didn't. So I just like pour a drink. I'll get a beer and do a live stream sometime. Sure, it'd be fun. Yeah, man, that sounds fun. I really like this. This was really chill. I was kind of like wanted to do like a mini thing or something like that, but like I don't know. I just never like found the time or really like figured out how to set it up. So I was just like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, I know Justin does something like this, and it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, Justin, like the Helios guys do like a chill and talk thing, but like literally every time they do it, I'm busy. Like it's it just sucks. Like I'm gonna join it one of these days, and then like I was part of the those Gundam guys one for a while. I was like in their Skype thing, but I never actually like did the session. Yeah. And then there's the Gunpla talk, which is like Child of the Mecha, Justin, and all them.
Yeah, I've done both of those once.
Oh, it says 80 people are watching. Holy crap!
Okay.
Wow. Now they're talking about drinks.
That's a whole nother video.
Yeah, that's a whole other. Save those questions for next time, folks.
We can do a drunk Gunpla live stream.
I've been requested to do that a couple times because like somebody really wanted me to do that for my 21st. my 21st birthday is a story in itself, but yeah, I don't know. Like we could do that. Like we kind of rambled about random stuff this time, but like I know I got a lot of fun Gundam stories under my belt that I would love to like tell all you guys.
I know there'll be a lot more talking than modeling work getting done.
That's all right. It's all about having fun, man. You know.
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there. It's like I have a feeling like once this chat's done, I'm gonna like get like 1,000 things done and be like, oh, I can't talk and work at the same time. Actually, 28. I don't think drunk clothes is a good idea. Somebody might cut off a finger. No. I'm pretty, I can build when I'm like tipsy.
I can't make any promises. especially with this thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like maybe I'll like snap fit a kit. See where I get from the beginning to the end.
Or just hide the sharp stuff.
Hey Ed, what are those models I spy in the background? Oh boy, do you guys want to see my setup? Because I can move my webcam around if you want. Actually, it's really funny. All the models that are over here are they're not even unbuilt. They're just part boxes. Yeah. Here, I'll fuck it. So So my webcam's on like a little. It's like one of those like USB plug-in ones. Okay. So here's my like work desk setup. Can you guys hear me still? Can you hear me? Okay. So like this is my work desk. This is the laptop that I've been like chatting on. This is my backlog under here. These are the kits that haven't been touched yet. And then over here is like resin magazine kits, some small stuff. There's some cup noodle kits in there. And then over here, all of these are literally just parts. None of them are complete. They're all just part boxes. So like there's remnants of like whatever kit was in there at one point, unless they're labeled on the side. And then this whole drawer container thing, that's all parts in here. It's literally like...
Uh-oh, we lost audio on you.
Does that work now?
Yeah, we hear you now.
I don't know why I did that. Yeah, all of these are, this is all just literally just scrap parts. There's like, just, I don't even know. It's totally unorganized. And then you can kind of see back there is all old Hobby Japans, all a bunch. Those are all like old modeling books and stuff. In this box, oh god, I can't hold this camera. This box is literally all ramen kits. These are all just the ramen Gunpla kits that I have. Some of them. Yeah, so these are all just like part boxes. So there's bits and pieces in there, and then up here is these are all like snap fit models, just ones that I have like together that I haven't really done anything with. That's my my Wing Gundam, which was my first Gunpla kit I ever did. And up here is this is all my painted stuff. It's like all my completed stuff, and then this is I don't even know. This is like all this is like reshaping stuff, I guess. This is like modification stuff. This is diorama stuff. This is all train parts. This is all N scale and HO scale train bits. This is Etsy stuff. That's my my girlfriend's desk over there, where she's working on her GBWC entry. And then I have a big table behind me, where I have more parts containers down there. And those are some random kits I have. This is where I'm starting to work on my GBWC stuff. And then over in this corner is my white base, my remote control Zaku, and my poor neglected camera that hasn't been used in a while. And there's like a bunch of older models around the corner there. And there's a coat hanger of Char.
All right, Ed. Well, I think I am going to call it a night. So it's been great. And we definitely will have to do this again. Did your audio go out again? I guess it did. All right. Well, I guess Ed's audio is out. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Thank you guys so much for joining in and participating in the chat. And I think we'll probably do this again in about a month or so. So good night, and we'll see you guys next time.